Hey guys, Brian Horatsky here, owner and founder of Maryland Sports Blog. I'm joined today by Tom Eller, who is going to be the hitting coach of the Aberdeen IronBirds. The IronBirds are actually going to be a full season team this year, and Tom is going to be their hitting coach. Tom, so in a COVID world, we have a lot of new protocols. What is that going to be like with the training and everything going into it on like the differences from the past with getting prep work done, video work done, and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, this past year I was actually in Bowie right during the middle of the pandemic. So I'm kind of familiar with how everything works. This year it's a little different because, right now, typically I would be in spring training. But because we kind of split it up, we have the major league side now. They're taking both of our minor league spots to kind of give, more space for everybody. So we don't go down until the end of March. Major League has it all this month. And then we go down end of March, we have spring training all the way through April. And I believe our first game is May 4th or something like that. But it's definitely different. I mean, we're going to be spread out a little bit more. I think we're going to have double A and high A, which is going to be Bowie and Aberdeen. We're going to be at Ed Smith Stadium, which again is different. Usually we're over at Twin Lakes. And then we'll have our low A team and, our Gulf Coast League. They'll be at Twin Lakes. And, again, just trying to keep trying to keep everybody spread out and trying to keep, in line with all the protocols. We'll probably get tested for COVID, every other day. That's typically what it was at Bowie. And the big thing is like, if these guys want to play baseball, they gotta take it serious, and they can't, be stupid and go out and, be around a bunch of people and, infect our entire facility. So I know everybody's anxious to get back out there and start playing here soon. So I'm sure they're going to be fine. But I'm excited. I can't wait to, finally get started.
So with that, you said everyone's got to basically behave themselves and follow the protocols, stay inside. Has there been any prep with, hey, if someone tests positive, this is what we're going to do? Is that something that you guys are preparing for? Hey, we could miss some games. We've had this experience now for almost a year. Like, sports have been back. We went through a Major League Baseball season, albeit another thing we're going to talk about is there was no minor leagues last year. You mentioned you were down in Bowie last year, but has there been any hey, we actually have some protocols if someone actually tests positive, we know what to do now? Because last year during the Major League season, during the NFL season, it was basically we're just playing it by ear. It didn't seem like there was really a formula on how we're going to get back to action.
Yeah, I mean, our training staff is unbelievable. Our medical team and training staff, they take care of us. They're unbelievable when it comes to, making sure that we're constantly 6 feet apart. Everybody's got their masks on. They're constantly walking around with alcohol spray, so we can wash our hands. And luckily at Bowie and at the Major League side last year, no one tested positive. So I'm sure they have tons of protocols. I know, for instance, one of my tests came back inconclusive one time, and it was just because, it happens every once in a while. But I couldn't practice. I couldn't be at practice. I couldn't even get out of my car when I went and got tested. So, they're great at what they do, and I'm sure everybody's going to be safe.
Awesome. So the competition with Frederick Keys aren't playing this year. We're not doing short season baseball. Do you think the competition's kind of level with the minor league teams? Generally, AAA is a lot of major league players and a couple hot prospects. Then you have your AA teams. You have a lot of the future stars, top prospects, and your high A and low A. Do you think the talent level with some of those clubs is going to be shifted a little bit, or do you think it's going to kind of stay the same?
It's a good question. I think that it's going to push some guys, like some guys that were, that you saw play in the GCL back in 2019. You're going to see them get pushed to, maybe high A or low A right away, and maybe pushed up through there a little bit more accelerated than usual. You might see a guy like Adley Rutschman completely skip high A. I'm not really sure yet, but I think it's actually going to be more condensed. There's going to be even more talent, to be in each league. So I think it's going to be really exciting.
Awesome. You talked about Roshman. Everyone's excited about that. Do you think he's got a shot to make it this year?
I think he's a fantastic player. I mean, luckily I had him at Aberdeen, and then I had him at Bowie last year. He's one of the top players in our organization. He's number 2 overall in all the minor leagues. I without a doubt think he could be in the big leagues this year. But I don't make those decisions.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to my next question with some of the prospects. But talking back about last year, we didn't have minor league baseball for any of us. I wouldn't say but none of us got to enjoy it. So do you think that affected development with some of the prospects, or do you think down in Bowie they were playing all these simulated games? Do you think Roshman and all those top guys that should have been in their first year playing at high A or double A, wherever he or they would have been, do you think it hurt them, or do you think it helped them? Or stay the same?
Yeah. I mean, I think Adley and we had Gunnar Henderson, who's another first rounder at Bowie. I think it really helped them. They got to see guys going back and forth from the big leagues. They got to learn from those guys. They got to compete with those guys every single day. Be around guys like DJ Stewart and Ryan McKenna, and even like guys like guys coming back and forth. Chris Davis, and I'm trying to think who else was back and forth. Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes was down there for a little bit. So I think it definitely helped those guys. Unfortunately, we only had so many roster spots at Bowie, so I think it could have really hurt some of our other guys, like Darryl Hernandez, who was another, really early draft pick for us. But I think our staff did a really good job of coming up with a plan for these guys, and we put that in motion with them. We kind of gave it to them to run with, but, we're constantly checking in with all of our players, I would say once every 2 weeks, finding out what they're doing, looking at any benchmarks that they accomplish, and just finding out, how everything's been going with them. So I think the Orioles took full advantage of the COVID year, and there's a lot of teams that probably, just kind of let some of their prospects go and weren't really paying attention to them and weren't communicating with them. But for us, we did a great job with communication and putting forth what we want them to do for the future.
So when you guys were doing those simulated games last year, was it an all-out game? Or was it, hey, this guy's trying to warm up on his fastball, or we're trying to get his curveball right, this is what he's throwing? Or was it like, hey, we're actually trying to get Adley some real at-bats, pitch him like you're trying to get him out?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely simulated game. The only thing that was different about it was we didn't always have 9 position players on the field. So, we only had so many guys, and sometimes guys got called up to the big leagues, and, we got some of our coaches out playing the outfield or the infield. So, but yeah, I mean, it was – those guys were competing. I mean, it's a job for them. And, if they go out there and, aren't taking it serious, or we tell, guys what they're throwing, I mean, that doesn't make it realistic. So every day they went out there and bust their tail, and, it was, full simulated, just like a normal game.
Awesome. So are there, I think, guys that are kind of under the radar that you're looking forward to working with this year?
I'm not really sure who I'm going to have this year yet. But I know some of the guys that I worked with in the past, Johnny Reiser at Aberdeen, Zach Watson. I had basically that whole entire draft class of 2019. Maverick Hanley, great catcher. Andrew Dashbach, Kyle Stowers, all from Stanford. Johnny Reiser was from TCU. I'm trying to think who else. Joey Ortiz, New Mexico, fantastic shortstop. We'll probably see Adam Hall with us, another really, really good infielder, who's really, took the COVID year and ran with it. I mean, he's improved his game all around. So, it's going to be great whoever I get. I mean, I think our farm system is loaded with talent, especially, at our level and double A. So I'm excited, just in general. I don't really care who they give me because they're all pretty good.
Awesome. Is there anything that you want to add?
No, not really. I mean, like I said, we're just all, chomping at the bit trying to get down to Florida and get started. I really hope that, everything works out with, COVID, and we have fans in the stands. And, luckily for me, Aberdeen's only about 30 minutes from my house. So it's perfect setup for me. I'm kind of local, know a lot of people there. So I hope we can get as many people in the games as possible.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Tom.
No problem. So that's it.